put him out, huh? Well, if he out, then he out.
Alle Juden nach links! Alle anderen stehen bleiben!
Das Gepäck kriegt ihr morgen.
Weitergehen!
Ihr werdet Gepäck zurücklassen. Ihr werdet jetzt desinfiziert. Jetzt wird gearbeitet. Das Gepäck kriegt ihr morgen. Ihr werdet eure Familien später sehen. Sie werden jetzt desinfiziert.
Wer von euch spricht Deutsch? Alle Zwillinge nach vorne! Wer von euch spricht
Ihr
Deutsch?
werdet jetzt desinfiziert.
Leckage! Feldorweg! Schlagt euch die Köpfe ein! Sollt ruhig sein!
Bringt ihr morgen.
Ihr seid nicht auf einer Ferienreise!
Ihr werdet eure Familien später sehen. Sie werden jetzt desinfiziert.
Nach vorne!
Du bist so schön. Ich möchte mit dir schlafen. Bist du ein Polak? Du. Bist du auch einer von diesen dreckigen Kommunisten?
Ich bin eine Polin. Bin in Krakau geboren. Ich bin keine Jüdin. Auch meine Kinder nicht. Sie sind auch nicht jüdisch. Sie sind beide rassenrein. Ich bin Christin. Ich bin streng katholisch.
Du bist keine Kommunistin? Du bist eine Gläubige.
Ja, mein Hauptmann. Ich glaube an Christus.
Du glaubst an Christus, den Erlöser.
Ja.
Sagt er nicht, lasst doch die Kinder und verwehret ihnen nicht, zu mir zu kommen. Hm? Du kannst eins von den Kindern behalten.
Wie bitte?
Du kannst eins von den Kindern behalten. Das andere muss weg.
Wollen Sie mir sagen, dass ich wählen muss?
Du bist ein Polak und kein Jude. Also, hast ein gewisses Vorrecht.
Ich kann nicht wählen. Ich kann nicht wählen.
Halt's Maul.
Ich kann nicht wählen.
Komm, ich schicke sie beide weg. Ich schicke beide Kinder weg.
Nein.
Ja doch, du musst
Zwingen
wählen.
Sie mich nicht zu wählen.
Komm,
Ich kann nicht wählen.
Und ich schicke sie beide darüber.
Nein.
Halt's Maul, halt. Hör auf jetzt. Du sollst das Maul halten.
Nein.
Los, entscheide dich, wähle.
Nein. Zwingen Sie mich nicht zu wählen. Ich kann nicht wählen.
Ich schicke sie beide darüber.
Nicht wählen.
Nehmen Sie beide Kinder weg. Ja, siehst dich! Los!
Nehmen Sie meine Kleine.
Los!
Nehmen Sie meine Kleine. Nehmen Sie das Mädchen. Nehmen Sie das Mädchen.
Community, a group of people living in the same place or having a particular characteristic in common, such as the scientific community. Black people is a term used in certain countries, often is socially based systems of racial classification or of ethnicity to describe persons who are perceived to be dark-skinned compared to other populations. As such, the meaning of the expression varies widely both between and within societies, depends significantly on context. Now, I played the clip of Sophie's choice. Sophie actually making her choice from the movie, of course, Sophie's Choice, which won an Academy Award. And the reason I played this particular clip is because certain Negroes failed to learn history or failed to learn from it. Not only ours, but other people's. Now, certain people, such as Jews, have learned from their history because they thought they were no longer part of the Communitah. And they thought they had gotten out of the ghetto. They thought they were accepted by regular Germans or the elite Germans. And then even in this case, where Sophie, who was not a Jew and a Christian and Polish, thought that she was not part of the Communitah. But in the end, guess what she was? She was no better than the Jews that she despised, or no better than the park apes that certain people despise in the eyes of the dominant society. Now, let me tell you something about myself. I've said this before. Poor kid in a black neighborhood, some little black teacher, female, saw something in me and decided to put my name to be transferred, bused to an upper class white community. So from 1968 to the time I graduated in 1977, 9 years I spent amongst the English, amongst white people. So that bullshit that I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, you can miss me with that. Because not only have I been around white people, but upper class white people. My class president was the son of a jockey at Hollywood Park with $1 million house. Few of the kids that I went to school with had Dodgers, LA Dodgers, as parents. They lived in mansions on the side, cliff side of the beach. So I've been on both sides, in and outside of the Communitah. And let me tell you, in or outside of the Communitah, you're still a Negro. You're never outside of the Communitah. You're never not part of the Communitah, no matter what you say. Just like Sophie, because she thought she was a Christian. She thought she was a non-communist. And oh yes, for all those people that think the Nazi Germany was a socialist or a communist country, that would tell you they killed as many communists as they did Jews. So you can also miss me with that bullshit. But that's a little thing that they leave out when they talk about Nazi Germany, because they put socialists in the name. Like they put Federal Reserve into the Federal Reserve's name, which is not federal. Part of the new speak that we use on a common basis these days. I also put it in the clip earlier, Weebay from The Wire talking to his wife, Delonda, about his son. If he out, he out. And that's why I feel about Negroes that don't want to be part of the Communitah. If you out, you out. If you're out, you're out. But you sit on black panels talking to black people about black women, about community issues, but you out. And you try to sell me on that bullshit. On that bullshit. And I said it, bullshit. Because your motherfucking ass wouldn't be talking about goddamn black community or black people if you were out. You'd be sitting at the country club with your white compatriots, talking to your white wife about how you can become more whiter. But you don't, do you? You're worried about the black community because you never left. You can't leave. If you're in the United States, you're a nigga. Get it through your goddamn head. You are a nigga. Just like OJ. It didn't matter how many white women he dated, how many white women he was married to, how many white women he screwed. When it came down to the very end, where the chips was on the line and his white friends turned against him, guess who he relied on? Guess who saved his ass? It wasn't them white lawyers. He got the best black lawyer he could find. In the end, he had to drag his ass back to the goddamn Communitah. All you Negroes sitting up on black panels on YouTube talking about you're no longer part of the Communitah. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Sit on them white panels. I can give Donovan Sharp credit. He say he out. He out. He said he ain't part of it. He ain't part of it. And he lives that shit. You Negroes get on the line arguing on black panels with black people in black YouTube, talk about you're not part of the Communitah. It's bullshit. You are. What you're trying to do is drag people from the Communitah to be on your side so you don't feel alone. Because guess what? You're not welcome over there. Because if you were welcome over there, you'd be over there. So don't give me this shit that you're not part of it because you're still here. I don't care how many times you call motherfuckers park apes or wish that they would gentrify the hood. You're still its fruit. And guess what? Guess what Christ said years, thousands of years ago? You know the motherfucking tree by its fruit. I don't care how big a coon you would like to be and how whitewashed you think you are still a Negro. E. Franklin Frazier found that out. You couldn't go into high society and hang out. At the end of the day, you're still a Negro. I found that out. No matter how many white friends, white best friends that I had, no matter how many little white girls liked me, no matter how much I sounded like the little white boys that are in my class, guess what? When I got into puberty, I got to be a teenager, I was a nigga. Hard lesson. How many times did I get hired on the phone only to go down there and walk into the office and guess what? No matter how much I sounded like them, in fact, I was even more proper than they were. I was smarter than they were. Guess what? I'm still a nigga. I'm still black because I'm not part of their community. I'm part of mine. You can accept it or reject it. But if you get out there in the middle of nowhere, guess what? You by yourself. If you're out, you out. If you're happy in your own little white community or your little mixed community as you would like to have it, if you're out, you out. So why are you here back over here on this goddamn side in the black sector of YouTube? YouTube's got billions of members. And the vast majority is not black. There's a very small sector of black YouTube. What the fuck are you doing over here? Oh, I'm not part of the community. Bullshit. I'll say it again. Bullshit. You got your nose knee deep in the ass of the black community. Talking the same shit. Talking about niggas. Why? Because you're talking about yourself. If you weren't part of the community, no matter what black folks do, you can't be embarrassed. Why? Because you ain't part of us. Just like those Jews wasn't part of the ghetto. When push came to shove, they got the bullet in the back of their goddamn head. Just like every other poor Jewish person in the goddamn ghetto. And the Polish people that didn't think they were part of that Eastern European race, they got the same motherfucking bullet. But I'm not part of them. That bullet made you part of them because you got buried in the same grave that they did. I can't tell you how many, I don't even have to tell you, you know it. Because you know it because you keep up with that shit. And that's why you're back here on this side of YouTube because you ain't got no constituency. Because you know you riding with that white woman and Donovan Sharp, I give him credit because he tells you this. You riding with that white woman and that cop pulls you over and he's having a bad day. That's your ass, not hers. You have an argument with your white wife and she calls 911. That's your ass, not hers. And you know it. Just like that kid in college didn't even penetrate that girl. All he did was kiss her. They were gone 5 minutes. 5. Didn't have sex. All he did was kiss her. Her word is that he raped her. Guess what? He got 12 years. But he's not part of the Communitah. When you're out there on the other side, you're at the mercy of them. And ain't no shade on white folks. White boy comes over here in my neighborhood. I don't care if he's married to a black woman. He's still white. You know it. I know it. I got white people walking their dogs in a black neighborhood. When she walks that dog in this black neighborhood, she's still a white woman. And she's over here. She's not accepted here in this neighborhood completely because she's still white. It doesn't matter if she's out. She's still white. Just like your black ass is over in a white neighborhood. I don't care how much money you got, how much fame you have, who your friends are. You still a black man. You still a nigga. Our goddamn president of the United States was not a descendant of slaves. Wasn't raised by black people, raised by his white parents and his white grandparents. As blue-eyed and blonde-haired as any that you'll see. When he got into the White House, guess what? That's what he found out. I'm still black. Now, I don't care how much power I have, what status that I have, I'm still a Negro in this country. Are you your brother's keeper? You're goddamn right you are. Because if your black ass gets strung up someplace in a white neighborhood by your balls, guess who's going to come to your rescue? Ain't going to be them. It ain't going to be them that you're going to rely on. The only people that are going to even feel for you are going to be your community. Like it or not, we joined at the motherfucking hip. There's nothing you can do about it. You're born into it. You're going to die in it. I don't care how far you go, where you go. You are going to be a Negro. That's what you're born in. You can go to any continent in Africa. Learn to speak their language. You're not from there. You're a Negro. You're from this community. You dumbasses try to sell that bullshit to somebody that knows. Because it's bullshit. I've been the one only. I've been the only one in the class. I've been the one that got the best SAT score in the classroom. And guess what? All them little white motherfuckers looking at me like, how this nigga get a better score than me? You can see it on their faces. I've been to foreign countries surrounded by white people out in the middle of nowhere, away from America. I'm speaking the same language they are, with the same experience that they had. You walk up to them, talk to them, they look at you. You know that look. You're a nigga. You're not white. You can't be fully accepted. There's no such thing as a halfling in this world. There's no such thing as a halfling in this world, especially in the United States with identity politics. Ask Du Bois. Ask all those mulattoes who wasn't accepted by their white parent. And if you were passe blanc, you look white, you got to keep your motherfucking mouth shut, because if you open it, you sound too black, guess where you're going to get put back in that black bin. But, we've overcome. We've been integrated. Ask Permit Patty or Barbecue Becky or any one of a number of people that happen to live in a white area or a white building and think that they're okay. You live in that white area, that cop better know you personally. He better know that you live there. Because if you don't and you black, he doesn't assume that you live in that neighborhood. He will stop your ass and put that stick right upside your head. Ask T.I. Ask Oprah. She tried to go in that shop and they wouldn't let her in because she was black. But I'm not part of the Communitah. Bullshit. You are inseparably tied to the hip to the black community, like it or fucking not. Them black billionaires know that. They have those little white folks in their country club that are their friends and been friends for a long time. But trust and believe, they know chips are down, they'll get thrown overboard just like the rest of the black community. You are there by their grace, not yours. I don't care how nerdy you are, how educated you are, how much money you got. Ask that Harvard professor trying to jiggle the key in his lock and got handcuffed and taken down to the station. Did his access to Harvard, that is a tenured Harvard professor, or that he was on a first name basis with Barack Obama help him? Still a nigga, and it didn't matter. Is he part of the Communitah? Yes, he is. And for all you Negroes that can't pass, that think that you are not part of the Communitah, I say one thing: bullshit. But like Bay says, if you out, you out. Good luck to you. Because frankly, me and most of the black community does not give a shit whether you in or out, because you ain't helping us. I tell them all the time, leave them alone. If they out, they out. You know, black female swirlers, good riddance. If you out, you out. Stay on your side of the fence. Because if you're on this side of this fence, commenting, critiquing, talking in our panels, you ain't out. Stop bullshitting yourself. Stop trying to fool us, because you ain't fooling me. If you out, you out. Stay over there. Stay out. Don't come to Sunday dinner. Don't come to the picnic. Don't come to the festival. Stay over there. If that's supposed to be your tribe, go get accepted by them. Oh, but we know you can't. Oh, they won't. Oh, they really won't accept you. Oh, they give you the side eye. Oh, they talk a little slick shit behind your back or in front of your face. Depends if they really feel bold about it. You could tell that look. You could tell they talk about you under their breath. Oh, but you out. You've overcome. You've left the Communitah. You out. I just got one little word: bullshit.